Hello, ladies and gentlemen, loyal Imperial citizens and rebel scum alike, and welcome to another Leah Maiden gameplay video. Back with more Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes today. Something a little different again today. I'm not going to be looking at gameplay as such. I just want to take a moment, maybe just make a short video, just to take a look at the question in the title. Has Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes become a victim of its own success? Now, this question really comes around just in light of recent developments. Obviously, recently, Capital Games introduced the Galactic Challenge game mode to Galaxy of Heroes. I actually made a video looking at my first reactions to, my first thoughts on Galactic Challenges. I'll put a link to that in the top right-hand corner. Check it out if you've got the time. And just for the record, you know, generally I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. It seemed like an interesting new game mode to me. But looking online, looking at a lot of other YouTube comments and just kind of reading things that people are posting in general, it seems as though the general feedback to Galactic Challenge was really negative. People were not impressed by the gameplay mode. They weren't impressed by the challenges that were being offered. They weren't impressed by the rewards that were being offered for those challenges. I know that there were some players, for example, who were able to solo the entire Galactic Challenge using just relict Sith Trooper. So I can certainly understand from that perspective this new game mode is just something you can complete without any effort in a few minutes. So that's not much of a new development. Now, I know that CG have listened to that. They have announced that they are going to be making changes to Galactic Challenge. But given the amount of anticipation that we had leading up to this development, and given that just recently I was talking about this, I actually made a video on hate in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community recently. Again, I'll put a link to that in the top right-hand corner as well. It seems as though this is just another opportunity for people to really vent their displeasure with the game, to basically just say they're not having a good time, they're not happy with the content that Capital Games is putting out at the moment under the Galaxy of Heroes banner. Okay, so I wasn't that disappointed with Galactic Challenges, but I also wasn't really that excited for them either. I mean, I've spoken about this before, that the whole point of this channel is to really show gameplay at a mid-game level. I've only been playing Galaxy of Heroes for around about the 18-month mark. I did buy the Hyperdrive bundle when it came out, and I have dropped kind of $10 here or there on some of the cheaper packs, especially when they've had sales around the holidays and things like that. But generally speaking, I don't really spend money on it. I just occasionally do. Most of the time, I'm pretty much free to play, and I'm definitely, I would say, at the mid-game level. I've got just over 2 million total GP, and obviously there are people out there with 5 million plus, people who are getting Galactic Legends and things like that. I'm nowhere near getting any of that. And for me, Galactic Challenges, it wasn't bad, but it also wasn't that exciting because I wasn't really clamoring for more content in the game. Just going through the regular legendary characters in the game is going to take me a really long time. I'm nowhere near getting all of them. Galactic Legends, not even Galactic Legends, just some of the newer characters, Gas, Jedi Luke, they're nowhere near my radar. I don't know if I'm ever going to unlock those characters, to be honest with you. They're so far ahead of anything that I'm capable of right now. And that maybe seems bad to some players, that the new content's being introduced that is just completely out of step with what people are able to reach. But on the other hand, it means that there's a ton of regular content out there, regular legendaries, regular challenges that are still fun for me. There's still a challenge for my roster. Grand Arena is constantly changing. It's constantly something that I'm able to develop tactics and new ways that I can deploy my people for. This game still has an awful lot for me, and as I mentioned in that video on hate, I think most people probably fall into that category. I think for most people, this game is still a lot of fun and still offers a lot of new challenges pretty much on a daily basis. But what about all the people out there who are complaining? What about the people who did vent this kind of backlash against Galactic Challenges and are saying that generally they're just disappointed? Well, this is where really the question of, is Galaxy of Heroes a victim of its own success, comes up for me, because we have to remember that this is a $1 billion game. It's hugely, hugely successful, and it's years old. I mean, when this game first came out, did anyone truly believe that in 2020 people would still be playing this game, that they'd still be spending the kind of money that they're spending on this game? I don't really think anyone could have predicted that. This is entirely new kind of game mode, entirely new way of gaming. We really don't know what the lifespan is for a game like this. But with Galaxy of Heroes making over $1 billion, I think we can say it's still got legs on it. I mean, this game could be around for years and years. And the bottom line is that if you've been playing it since it came out, if you've been playing this game for 5 years plus, even if you're just spending a modest amount of money, eventually you're going to outclass this regular content. Eventually, you're going to have opened up all the legendary characters, and that's even without throwing money into it. And that means that Capital Games, in order to keep the game relevant, in order to keep the game exciting for these people who are spending money, they need to constantly up the meta. They need to constantly up the power levels. They need to keep upping the ante, keep making this game more and more insane in terms of what it needs from you for gear, for relic characters in order to unlock people. They just need to keep pushing everything up to keep the game viable, to keep the game exciting for people who are spending money on it. And that's not even really taking into account whales, and we know that there are some insanely huge whales out there, people that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on this game. Now, I don't really know. I only really play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force. They're the two kind of mobile games that I'm playing right now. I mean, do people do that in other games? I know that it's a big deal that Galaxy of Heroes has made $1 billion, but there are people out there who spend $200,000 on characters for Galaxy of Heroes. $200,000. I mean, that's a house. And now, obviously, people who are doing that, they must be within their means. They must be very wealthy individuals, and it's not an issue for them to spend that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking it, but I think we have to admit, even I think they would have to admit, that that's an insane amount of money to spend on a game. And I think that's testament, again, to just how successful this game has been, how successful and how much love there is out there for the Star Wars brand, that people are willing to throw such huge amounts of money into it. But it does bring us back to this issue of then Capital Games having to constantly up the ante, constantly increase the meta in order to keep these people hooked, in order to keep people who have maybe invested thousands of dollars in the game with something worth playing, because they're going to be there with Galactic Legends. They're going to be there with all the latest characters, all the latest abilities right up at that meta, so they need to keep raising that ceiling. So this, I think, actually puts Capital Games in a pretty difficult position, because how do you balance that, right? You've got people on one end, the whales, who are spending thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars on the game. You've got mid-game people, maybe like me, who've not been playing it for that long, and we've spent maybe somewhere in the region of a few $100s on the game in total. And then you've got people down the other end, free-to-play people. Maybe they've been playing for a while, maybe newer people coming to the game, and we also know that new people continue to come to the game. Star Wars is not dying in popularity by any means. So how does CG balance that? How do they create a game that is still exciting for the long-term players and the whales out there who've spent vast amounts of money, who have all the metas and all the latest characters, but doesn't feel out of reach for the brand new players, so that you're not, starting a Galaxy of Heroes account and then thinking, well, man, in order to get anything cool, in order to play anything that is going to be exciting, I really need to drop thousands of dollars into this. So it's a free-to-play game, but actually, no, it isn't. You're going to need to spend thousands of dollars if you want to take part in some of the most exciting elements. I mean, maybe people feel it's already at that level. Maybe people feel already that you need to spend money. I know the introduction of the Hyperdrive bundle was kind of contentious, because in order to get the most benefit, of course, they're asking people to do this right off the bat, to immediately spend $100 on the game, and that's a pretty big ask. Although, then again, the game has made $1 billion, so maybe not. So it kind of seems like CG are facing maybe a nearly impossible task here, to create a game with content that is engaging for those top level players without filling it with content that is just completely inaccessible to most. And sure enough, not long ago, it really felt like Galaxy of Heroes was hemorrhaging players. I remember in my guild we had a good couple of months there where people were just leaving. And I'm not talking about, I mean, obviously there's turnover in most guilds, especially I'm in a relatively low-level guild, actually. I like that it's open, that kind of anyone can join it. and we always do have turnover, but I'm talking about players who had been there since the get-go, players who were doing the dailies every day, who were big contributors to all of the guild activities, the raids, the territory battles, officers who just suddenly disappeared, people who were really leaving the game. It really felt as though it could be kind of the end, or at least part of a downward spiral, a death spiral maybe, for Galaxy of Heroes. But then that all changed. So not long ago we had the Vader rework, which I think was the first big element that changed that. People really saw how great that rework was, how it really made Vader and Empire in general much more viable characters, much more viable squads, and it also upgraded his ability in ships as well. And that got people very excited, especially because it was such a fun upgrade too. It kind of linked into that amazing scene in Rogue One. It just made the game more fun. I think that's a key aspect. Plus, it was available to everyone. This wasn't something that you had to pay for. It wasn't something that you had to save up and farm for beyond just unlocking Vader. So obviously, if you had a relic Vader, you were going to get more benefit from it. But as long as you had Vader, you were going to see the difference, and you were going to get to have fun with this. It was going to be an improvement to your Empire squads, and that was really cool. And then I think, following swiftly on from that, hot on the heels, we had this announcement of Galactic Challenge, a brand new game mode. And I think, that's what's really inspired this video today. The reaction to Galactic Challenges, which, as I say, seems to be generally quite negative. People were excited to see where this game was going to go. Was it going to breathe new life into Galaxy of Heroes? And although CG have taken the feedback and they do seem to be making changes, they're saying they're going to make changes to the game mode, I think the general consensus so far from the web, from people's reviews, seems to be no. So could we be facing again another hemorrhaging of players? Could we be facing again another downward spiral for this billion-dollar game? Has Galaxy of Heroes just grown too big? Has it grown too popular to succeed? Is it a victim of its own success? Well, what do you think? As I said, I actually really didn't mind Galactic Challenges. Yes, they weren't amazing, they didn't knock my socks off, but I don't think they were bad. I'm looking forward to the next one. Yes, I'm looking forward to the changes. It would be nice, actually, if they could increase some of the rewards that are offered, especially to some of those higher tiers, because if you're going to work that hard, because they are pretty difficult to get through, if you're going to work that hard and invest, they really need to make it worth it. But I think they're okay. I'm going to keep playing them. I'm looking forward to the next one coming out. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy Galactic Challenges? Are you still enjoying Galaxy of Heroes? I said a little while ago when I started making videos for Marvel Strike Force that actually I think I'm enjoying that game a lot more than Galaxy of Heroes right now. I'm nowhere near quitting Galaxy of Heroes, and actually most of the content that I still make is Galaxy of Heroes. I still would say that I spend most of my time playing the game, and again, that's testament, I think, to how much love I have for the game and how much love I have for Star Wars. But right now, I'd say out of the two, just in terms of minute for minute enjoyment, I probably am getting more out of Marvel Strike Force than Galaxy of Heroes. And there could come a day when when things start to switch the other way in terms of how much time I'm spending and how much content I'm making on this channel. I may focus more on Marvel Strike Force than Galaxy of Heroes. But I'm keen to hear your opinions on this. Are people still enjoying Galaxy of Heroes? Have you switched over to Marvel Strike Force? What did you think of Galactic Challenges? And do you think that Galaxy of Heroes is a victim of its own success? Has it grown too big to survive? Is it now in a position, as Dooku says, where it's facing twice the pride, double the fall? I don't know, just some speculation for you today. As always, I'd be really keen to hear your thoughts, comments, criticisms, and suggestions down below. If you enjoyed this video in any way, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Most of my videos aren't like this. Most of the time I'm doing gameplay videos, unlock videos, and hints and tips for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force. Check those other videos out if you get a chance. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble today and for being a part of this journey. I look forward to reading your comments down below. In the meantime, look after each other, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.